This how God works. Play my position, what is given with no concerns. Set it out. Top of the morning, I'm gonna set it out.
What up, y'all? It is Monday morning, and I'm Andrew the Fire, a.k.a. the Gorilla Poet Laureate, a.k.a. the Hoodie God, a.k.a. Spitting Quarantino, a.k.a. I wear my sunglasses inside because my eyes are as sensitive as my heart is, y'all. And this is the Great Joy Hunt. I got a very, very special guest with me today. Oh, I got two special guests with me today. Look at this one just joining. She just crawled out of bed like that. I heard you doing the intros. What's up? Let me get on camera. So we got some very special guests coming to join us today. And one of them is just one of my dearest friends, one of my favorite poets in the city. What up, Dominic? Getting it with this joy this morning. So I'm gonna bring in one of my favorite human beings in the entire world right now. Y'all give it up for Coon the Poet.
This how God works. Play my position, what is given with no concerns. Set it out. Top of the morning, I'm gonna set it out.
Peace, family. Peace, family. Top of the morning. Happy money making Monday. Happy mission minded Monday. What's going on, bro?
Man, we out here being out here, in here being in here. You know what I'm saying? However you want to play it. Yeah. Man, just Jeffrey says what's up, young Heem in the building.
What's up with Hennessy, man?
Man, yo, so first and foremost, peace and love, my guy. Yeah. You already know what it is. We want to see you win, bro. We want to see you win.
Yeah. Us win, bro.
Yeah. No, it's real. So the way we start this, generally the way we start the program is we do a little evaluation, little self-evaluation, little 60-second think about called What's Your Number?
This how God works. Play my position, what is given with no concerns. Set it out. Top of the morning, I'm gonna set it out.
So what is your number right now? If you are sitting at home, what's on a scale of 1 to 10? How we doing?
You know what, man? So my number. So is this my joy number?
Yeah. What's your joy level at? 1 to 10?
I would say I'm not typically a morning person. I'm a night owl. But I am things have been shifting in the season. And so like my vibration morning time is shifting. So I'm like a rising 8. Last night was a little rough. Rest wise. We can probably talk about that a little bit. But I'm like a rising 8. Stemming off last night, but going into like a good space. I can feel like everything's shifting.
Okay. I would say I'm at like a 7 right now. You know what I mean? I was dealing with migraines all day yesterday and then like woke up with like the old man pinched nerve this morning. You know what I mean? Like that old people shit is real. So, you know, it's a little bit of a struggle this morning, but we getting there. You know what I'm saying? We got people checking in. We got Dominic coming in.
We here? We still live? Yo. All right, what up, family? Well, I don't know where the host of the show went, but I'm gonna hold it down for show. So, you know, this being a joy hunt, y'all make sure y'all keep y'all joys up, y'all joys live. Like I said, my number is it's about a rising 8, and I say a rising 8 because regardless. And it probably was about a 6 when I woke up, maybe even a 5 when I woke up. But there's some tools, and I'm grateful that I actually have some tools to be able to like add some numbers, right? Raise my numbers, raise my vibe. And so maybe we're gonna talk about that a little bit when Drew gets back, family. But yeah, I will say this: your DMOs, myself and my collective, we talk often about like our daily methods of operation. That's interesting. Drew actually, I guess his computer shut down. Yo, we're gonna talk about vibe, man, and how like different energies and different energies can try to come and like distract the day or try to take the day away. But we ain't gonna let it steal our joy, family. So we're gonna keep the vibe going. I'm gonna just keep the show rocking for my bro the way he would keep it rocking for me. But let's talk about daily DMOs, right? I found, because I never was a morning child. And so it wasn't until I was about like 22 that I learned different ways to to raise my vibration. And a lot of that is like affirmations. So I have another principle. Let me go ahead and throw this in the air. When Drew come back, we can talk a little bit more about it. But one of the universal principles are like, it takes about 15 minutes. The first 15 minutes of your day, family, actually sets the foundation for the remainder of your day. So whatever you do in the first 15 minutes of your day sets the foundation for the remainder of your day. Wow. And so when I learned that I actually have power, right? I actually have power over my joy. That means that I can actually program my day by programming my mind, programming my energy, programming my thought process. And so here's a few things I'll since we just kind of like chilling and killing time, kind of, let's make sure that we can actually get some sustenance from this time. So like a few tips for like things that I start my day off with. I try to. I've been, try to be more disciplined about it. And me and my fiance are actually going to go into like hyperdrive discipline mode about our first 15 minutes and how we wake up and how we start our day. So something I've always done, I'll give y'all when I was a youngster. So I always thank God, right? I just made it a habit. I wrote it down on my dresser, on my nightstand. And so like on my teenage nightstand, still to this day, is the words, "Thank you, God, for waking me up." I did. So every morning I would roll over, because that part of the nightstand was right by my bed. I would roll over and I would literally look at that as a reminder. And then I would stop, pause, no matter how I woke up or what I had going on. I would at least give a few seconds to saying, "Thank you, God." So to humble myself. So that really put in a mindset of humbling, right? Humbling myself. Hey, no matter what, you woke up. And we'll maybe talk a little bit about that for those who know. I know that I don't have to be here, right? And so that gives me great joy, right? To be able to be blessed to wake up. And then it shifts everything, shifts the energy. So that's one thing, right? Like gratitude. So thank you, God, thanking, and then just being grateful for like having feeling in my legs, having air in my lungs, having strength, being thankful for having a warm bed and having a shelter and a roof, like those kind of things. Really, for me, it shifts a lot of vibration. Like it just puts me back. It puts me back in perspective of the fact that, like, yo, regardless of what's going on, it could always be worse, right? One of my favorite songs by Lyfe Jennings, it's called "It Could Have Been Worse." It could have been worse. It could have been worse. It could have been worse. You could have been dead. You could have been dead. You could have been paralyzed. Could have been paralyzed, confined to a bed. Now, I'm not a singer, but like that right there, for me, he was speaking my truth, like seriously. So I keep that in mind. That was one of the songs. Secondly, bringing of which, like, so when starting off your day, what do you listen to, right? What are you taking in? So gratitude, and then like being mindful of what I'm taking in to feed my mind. Sometimes we can't control the atmosphere around us, but what you can do is control what you intentionally take in, right? And so I would intentionally try to take in, especially at those times with some chaos going on sometimes, yelling, screaming, that kind of stuff. Normal trials of mountain climbing, when you dream chasing, normal distractions, right? But I would, I would like put on a song, intentional songs, whether that was gospel song, whether that was just a song speaking truth and love and light, or a song like that song, right? A song to kind of keep me humbled and keep me in perspective. And or if it was a song that, like, say I had something that I had to do that day, a song to kind of get me in that mode and motivate me. And or if it was not a song, listen to one of my favorite motivational speakers, Dr. Eric Thomas, E.T., Auntie Lisa Nichols, Unc Les Brown, to really like, because sometimes it helps when you hear somebody else reminding you of how blessed you are, for you to remember that you're blessed. Sometimes it helps when you hear somebody else reminding you how great you are, that you have greatness within you. Shout out to Les Brown. Sometimes it helps when you have somebody like E.T. Reminding you to be grateful for Monday. Thank God it's Monday. Reminding you that you're a lion and not a gazelle. Sometimes it helps when you have somebody like, hang on, y'all. All good, man. I'm actually communicating with Andrew right now. So right now, right, like moments like these, right, like where could we find the joy in like technical difficulties? And mind you, me and Andrew, the Gorilla Poet Laureate, we have rocked a few stages together. We're artists, we're entertainers, we're used to technical difficulties. The beautiful thing, we're not any kind of entertainer. We're actually spoken word artists. We're actually impromptu artists. The way the culture kind of cultivated us, we know to be ready for anything. We know that we got to be ready. So for me, I find great joy in this season, like mishaps, because it lets me know, it kind of keeps me on my toes, right? It kind of like allows me to tap into some of my other giftings. And the reality, and it also teaches me about life. The reality is, y'all, we already know we can't control what's going to go on in our day. We can't predict what's going to go on in our day. But what we can do, family, is for sure make sure that we enjoy the storm. So when you enjoy the storm, the rain has no power. The rain is only I don't even know if she knows that. She's kind of sitting over there, but my fiance, my queen, something I appreciated about her the most, she enjoys the smell of the rain. She enjoys the rain. When it rains, she actually like, oh my God, I like the rain. Most people, most of our sisters, right? Most Black women be like, oh my God, it's raining. But I see that little fairy moon goddess come out of her when when it starts raining, and it reminds me to like, yo, even if it's the storm ain't that bad, right? Find joy and find a way to find joy in the rain, find a way to find joy in the storm, find a way to find joy in whatever weather that we get. That's just the way I choose. We got the glass empty, glass full kind of individuals. I made a choice that I have no choice to be glass full, because the reality is it always can be worse. And if you know that, you have the opportunity to make it and to help it and to cultivate it into being better. And like, for those that know my story, y'all know I came from some stuff, some of y'all. And I love where my life is going right now. I love the direction. Many crashes and burns, but then I'm still able to, like, in many like random afflictions, still able to like triumph over all of those things, all the losses, and then still, and I genuinely, I think I attribute that to joy. Like I attribute that to the gratitude. Even when I was going through some of my hardest times, I still found a way to find a glimmer of joy. So where your joy at, family? In the words of my brother Andrew, where your joy at, family? So I do, like I said, I'm not in control of the show. I believe I'm still on the show. I'm not. I can't see y'all comments, but what I can do is I could just continue to put vibration out, and trust that y'all receiving something from this. But I just want to encourage y'all. When Andrew actually hit me and invited me onto the show, I was excited about it because of everything that was going on. And me and Andrew actually had we had a real dope, about almost an hour conversation, if not over an hour conversation the other day when I was in the midst of like what a season that could have taken my joy away. But like I couldn't help but be so ecstatic because I couldn't help but see like the dopeness and everything that was happening. I couldn't help but see the love in our people. I couldn't help but see how like people like loved on us, and then seeing the hearts of humans in it. So that brought me great joy. And so when when Andrew invited me onto the show, I'm like, yup, that'd be a phenomenal way to start off my Monday morning. I took all last week to kind of rest, but this week is a quite busy week. I'm an educator, teaching artist, educator, these days virtual teaching artist and educator, mental health advocate, trauma informed, spoken word poet, teaching artist, many things. Long story short, I actually very much like Andrew, I use the art form of spoken word to teach young people, right? To tie it into their curriculum. And these days, really heavily focusing on the healing aspect, right? And so I actually am the creator of the Pain and Power Poetry program. And then I that gives me joy, knowing that I was able to like take my healing process, chop it up, grind it up, make it into a patty cake, and then like offer that to others. And I think Andrew just kicked back in the door. There we go.
It do?
That gives me great joy. Look at my he took his glasses off and everything.
We're stuttering a little bit. I can't even understand what's going on. This is so wild right now. I'm so joyful that it's you on the other end of this. Oh, this is wild. My computer decided. Look at this, y'all.
Come on, bro.
Decided. Oh, it's just time for an update. You know, just shut me out. Leave Coon like out on the StreamYard just by himself.
I don't believe in no accidents, y'all. Like I'm like, yo, that was intentional. And the energy, like they set that one up. Like, yo, what was that about? Just to once again remind us and I was talking to the people. I don't know if they were able to hear me or listen, but I was still just talking to the people about like us being the kind of artists and performers we are. We always got to be ready for technical difficulties, and we always got to be ready to be impromptu. I think the word was impromptuative, if you will. Gotta be ready. How many times you did a show and everything just did not go the way that everybody planned?
Damn. I can't, like, it's so bad. All I'm hearing is stuttering on this end.
Oh, really?
Like, I mean, you look great. Like, let's say that. You know what I mean? You look fantastic. The background is beautiful. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I'm joyful for that.
There you go. You can't hear me, bro?
Wait, there we go. I can hear you now.
What about, okay, was it me or was it just your feed?
No, I think it's all of my everything. I think all of my technology conspired against me this morning. It was like,
no, it tried it. It tried it. But look,
like,
we're going to throw
Coon
some
is doing this show right now.
Hold on. We're gonna throw some joy dust on it. It tried it. Ironically, bro, that's what I was going to actually share with you. Like last night was it was some of that going on. Some of that energetic warfare going on last night. While dreams and resting, and like I felt something trying to absorb my life force, right? My energy. Like I felt it in my leg, and blessed to have a warrior queen that woke me and then shook me a little bit hard, man. For that, I see that like, okay, that's the kind of season we in. So we're gonna throw some more joy dust on it. And I see that it's not, you know what I mean? They coming for all the okay, it's war season, like warrior season, huh? We're gonna throw joy dust on that thing. Let's go.
I love it. And I mean, you know where my joy is at right now is that I'm doing the stream from outside. You know what I mean? This is not. Too. I don't usually hit the sunshine while I'm doing this. You know what I mean? I don't got no bright lights in my face, so I ain't gotta wear no sunglasses right now. You know what I mean?
All the way they said, look, wear your heart. They said, Andrew, if you're gonna be rocking with Coon the Poet, you're gonna invite him on your show, you gotta wear your heart, be all the way vulnerable and transparent.
Absolutely.
I knew something happened when you came back on again. Yeah, I was like, okay, he done kicked the glasses. he's all the way him. He went in human mode. He said, listen, I don't know what's happening.
I mean, you know how that panic mode gets when you're like, and what's wild is like I was thinking like, yo, wait, he's still on. So you don't have for folks that don't know StreamYard, Coon does not have a way to end the stream. So he's literally like the only way for him to end the stream would be like shut the laptop. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a wild like situation when my computer just shut down and was like, we're gonna update right now. This is what we're doing. Like, all right, cool.
Upgrade season. Upgrade season. Random upgrades.
Yeah.
So did you get your superpowers downloaded into you yet?
I'm still trying to decipher what they are. You know what I'm saying? I think the joy hunt is one of my superpowers. You know what I mean? And I think that sometimes our superpowers are they take a minute. You know what I mean? To really develop, they take work to develop. I think about this joy hunt. I've been on this for a couple years now. For those of y'all who've been following me, and it started at a really dark time in my life to be able to be like, yo, like let's have the conversation. You know what I mean? Let's find this joy when times are dark. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so let me go check on that computer again too. I'm getting uncomfortable out here in the sunshine, but I think. It really trained me, you know what I mean? Like, I think, as this pandemic started, it was like, yo, how do I keep my vibe up? And I noticed a lot of people were having a hard time keeping their vibes up. And I'd been like training in the dojo for this, you know what I mean? Of like, how do I do that thing? I heard a clip of you talking earlier where you said the first 15 minutes in your day really set the tone for your day. And that could not be a truer thing in my life. You know what I'm saying? Where like, that's why we do this at the top of the morning. You hear the theme song, top of the morning, I'm going to set it off. Like, this is how God works. Like, let's go. So being able to wake up first thing and count that joy, like, is huge. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. And I think that brings us to the next portion. Let's see if I can do this off the phone. This will be
man, you got it.
The great joy.
This how God works. Take my position, what is given with no concerns. Go. Set it out. Top of the morning, I'm gonna set it out.
Hey, we doing it. It almost looks legit. I don't like this little rectangle that I got going on here, but
Get you turn you on your phone?
Yeah, I'm on my phone.
Turn it.
It just
boom.
Oh wow.
Joy dust.
We back in biz.
Joy dust. Let's go. I ain't have a laptop for many moons in Buffalo season, so I just learned how to the landscape and all that kind of stuff. I realized that's the best way to do these kind of videos. Just turn your phone.
It's good to know. See, now I learned something for other folks when they come on the show. You know what I mean? You could turn the phone. So the great joy hint. The thing that I'm seeing this morning, Jeffrey said, is that Coon Dog ain't seen you in a minute.
Well, that Jeffrey Mead.
Jeffrey Mead.
I'm trying to refresh memory. I know the name. What's up, family? What's up, family?
Well, everybody got superhero names too.
Man, I know that. You know, so who is that? And what do you go by?
On Facebook, I'd be like, "Yo, who is? Wait, what is
I
going
don't. Yeah, I
on?"
don't
Like,
know.
I don't know that government name. I don't be calling people by their government
I
names.
don't
We
work
all
for
go by
government.
superhero names out here.
Yeah, that's all we know. That's all. So yeah, who was that?
What is Jeff's superhero name? I don't
For
know.
sure.
I don't know people's government names. I don't memorize people's government names. I'm not the government. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. We don't work for them. Not at all.
But so what I was thinking, I mean, this whole morning has been full of joy hints. Turn your phone sideways is definitely one of the joy hints.
I'm gonna grab my sage bundle. Where's that?
But I think about one of the things I wanted to bring up today for the joy hunt. Let me sit down and stop making people dizzy out here pacing. One of the things that I was thinking about for the joy hunt or the joy hint this morning was being thankful. So yesterday I woke up with this wild migraine. Today I got this like little pinched nerve going on, but I'm thinking about like how to be joyful for the remedies. You know what I'm saying? Like even when you're in pain, like finding joy and being grateful for the remedies, the healing, the time and the energy, right? Like I think Dominic said, you need a foam roller. I got a foam roller. I'm super grateful for my foam roller. I'm super grateful for space to be able to roll myself out. I'm super grateful for time. Like I don't have to be at a workspace at a certain time. You know what I mean? Like, so being thankful for the remedies sometimes in when you're in pain, you know?
Yeah. So like speaking of which, like, cause we got like a whole, which I can turn on. I ain't gonna do that, but we got like a whole box of. Actually, but we have a whole box of like, just I called it a cure-all box. In that box, it's just like everything that everybody's been donating to the cause of like the COVID fight, if you will, like sea moss and vitamin C and zinc and elderberry and all the good vitamins. And I'm like, yo, it's so dope. Like, and honestly, all the natural remedies. I'm like, it's so dope that everything that we need was already on this earth. That we don't really have to go into a laboratory to be able to create a cure. That right there, like, yo, we have access to being okay. All of this.
Well, and like the local healer folks, you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't know about how to make elderberry syrup. I don't know what to do with sea moss. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know how to make fire cider, but like knowing some local superheroes, I'm gonna just shout out Empress Ready is my fire cider sponsor, as it would be, and just someone that I'm always sending people to because I know that London puts so much love into all of the recipes and into everything that she's doing. So, super grateful for the healers as well, the folks who really study that natural medicine and then are bringing those practices back, because these are practices that haven't been pushed to us. You know what I mean? It's not in like the system's agenda to teach you how to make elderberry syrup and figure out when you need to be taking it and how to get your immune system up and what that really looks like. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like that goes to y'all with the juice too. The queen with the juice.
Yeah. Under the moon juice. Ironically, bro, like since everything, so for the people that don't know, like for the past couple weeks, my fiance and I have been I'm trying to just really be mindful of how I how I speak about it. Like I don't want to say battling, because I don't want to keep calling it fourth war energy in my home, like this, like but really we just been kind of like overcoming and phasing through COVID symptoms. I'm not even claiming it, just this, like, so the symptoms and the causes of the symptoms. So for me, I had a couple, I was already on a lot of my vitamins, my juices. I was doing some workouts. So the way it affected me was kind of like not extremely bad. It affected me like a head cold, other than the loss of the smell. I had some nasal congestion. I had a bad headache. But other than that, I kind of like rested like I do typically, because sometimes headaches come normally, right? So I just kind of rested, um, went and just took all my vitamins, my juices, and all of that. And but my lady, it she couldn't hold any food down, any water down, and so it really started attacking her kidneys. So about that first week, I was like, it's all good. It's a part of the process. If it's what it is, we thought it was just flu or cold. We really did. And then when we started like noticing, like, yeah, I can't smell nothing, but can you smell something? Like, you're like, nah, I can't smell, I can't taste. And then like when her temperature went up to 103, that's how we knew it's like, oh, this is something going on. I do have a lot of people don't know this. I have a medical background, and I come from like a medical family. I was like destined to be a healer. I used to carry band-aids in my pocket in kindergarten because I knew all kids. I got hurt a lot, so I knew all other kids got hurt a lot. So I just wanted kids to be okay. I don't know. I was like, I just remembered that, like, yo, I used to do that. But I also used to work I was as a student working in Kaiser. Then I was hired on working in Kaiser in the recovery department, and then working in the perinatal department. And so like my first path was going to be going into like working as in the hospital as a CNA, right? That was going to be my fallback plan when I was in high school. Like being an artist, like I knew that I always was going to be an artist. But I used to, and I just looked into my old notebook, because in the program, I actually did the presentation, the keynote at the end of the program, the Kaiser Permanente launch program, KP launch program. And I was the only Black boy in the program. Anyway,
Talk about it.
I actually did the presentation, the keynote at the end, and I wrote a poem. And in that, I was like, pretty much I was saying that like, yo, being an artist is still my dream, but now I got a fallback plan. The reality is I didn't want to go. My mother's in the medical field, been in the medical field for 30 years, and a bunch of my family as well. But I had already spent a lot of time in the hospital after being shot, and I was like, I'm cool off the medical field. What's up, cousin? Love you. I'm cool off the medical field. I'm cool off the hospital. I don't want to work in no hospital. And my mother was like, well, I work in a hospital. It might be different. You might like it. It might actually help you kind of conquer that feeling. So I tried it. I went through the program, the RLP program. Shout out to Miss Bell. And I ended up working at the hospital, and I saw that like, yo, it's a whole different world than when you're on that side, when you're actually a patient versus when you're on the side of the one helping folks. You get access to a whole lot of different parts of the hospital, like locker rooms and things like that. And just the lounge spaces and all that kind of stuff that allows for healers to be able to continue to be healers. Did y'all know doctors have beds where they can go and rest, like when they're on call all day? I didn't know that at 17.
Yeah. No, that's news to me for sure.
Like I saw doctors coming out refreshed, never going home, just staying on call. I'm like, yo, you're a real superhero. So yeah, man, I say all that to say, I tapped into a lot of that part of myself, the CNA and training part of myself with my lady. But then we also, some of the newfound teachings, right, in the last few years, 5 years or so of studying like natural healings and herbal remedies and all that kind of stuff, really just boned up on our cold pressed juice intake. And then my lady actually, so she was using it as a detox. She got a cool juicer, and then she's using it as a detox. She actually ended up flipping it and kind of like starting her own, I don't like saying business all the time, really service. It was a service.
Right.
She just was like, yo, I want to share this with people. And then people are like, yo, I'm willing to buy it. So it worked. It was a win-win. It was right when the shutdown took place. So, shit, I mean, we were just slanging bottles, like really.
Yeah.
Dropping
Giving
off.
people giving people that natural medicine. You know what I'm saying? Like there's so much medicine in what we eat, and we're not told that. We're not. That's not the message that's pushed to us. The message that's pushed to us is like your medicine comes in pill form. You either get it over the counter or you got to get a prescription for it. Where like I've never been more healthy in my life than I am right now, just from A, quitting smoking cigarettes, and B, juicing every day.
Come on. So the other thing too, and I did kind of state it all over social media, like, no, when she did go to the hospital, she spent 5 days in the hospital. It's like literally since from the time the ball dropped to like 5 days after that. And the only thing that would really, really, really help as fast as like she needed it and we needed it because we were conquering it for so long, and so it was a particular kind of stomach medication that helped with the nausea. And so we did, we're not anti. My lady really tries not to. She doesn't really like pills at all. Like she did her pregnancy really. She did her pregnancies really like no pills, no medicine, and she still has that nature in her. I kind of was like, hey, babe, we ain't got time for that right now. Like, right. I there is a time where like I can't humble myself and be like, you know what, for the sake of like what's going on right now, and for the sake of like just these are emergency
measures. You know what I'm saying? But like the natural work of like healing and keeping yourself healthy. We talk about like healthy self being like, if you break that down, it's heal thyself. What I mean? So really like watching what you're intake and make sure that exercise is right, making sure you get in that circulation, all these things, right? Like, man, I'm so glad just to see y'all back. I saw a TikTok video today. I think it might have been TikTok. It might have just been for the book, but it was the two of y'all like sickly looking, like you were on the struggle bus a little bit, and then all of a sudden
we put it on a little thick
comes over the top, and then come back to like fur coats and sunglasses and stunting on them, like And I was like, yo, like that felt so good. Like that brings me so much joy as someone who like watched, you really documented your relationship and how it was being, expanded. A relationship will grow in the middle of some crisis. You know what I mean? And
I pray. I'm like, hold on. Because sometimes it can just be a lukewarm situation when there's no reason to really, because the whole idea of a relation, what I'm learning, love is really about survival. Love is like relationship. Relationship is about survival. Like really, like you come together so you can, when your arms or when your legs both come together, it's for the sake of keeping things balanced, right? Two comes together for the sake of being able to stand up correctly. I'm a strong dude, tough dude. I think I kind of I shared a poem about that too. Like I've resiled through a lot in my younger years and then through my 20s as well. And then we actually were able to unite at the end of my 20s. That's when I knew but I got somebody who's also as equally resilient, even when she don't want to be. And that's what I mean by equal. There's times I didn't want to be resilient. I've closed my eyes and waited to die and look like, oh snap. Like I'm still here. Like I've done that. Like I've seen her do that as well. And then like we're like, yo, our super strength and resilience is bigger than both of us.
Right.
We just keep going. So like it's a blessing to be able to have somebody in this season who is willing to, to fight with you, not against you, even when we find ourselves coming, like looking at each, like coming, treating each other like it's like you against me. Like this moment, like this situation really helped check a lot of that, like because you can't help but see each other.
Well, and y'all both some expert level joy hunters. Like as like the what I know of y'all, like, you know, I've known you for a very long time. I'm just kind of getting to know Queen through social media because we clearly we haven't been able to hang out very much. But yeah, man, y'all both like you got the beams, you know what I'm saying? Like, so being able to like amplify that for each other, you know, finding a partners, however you do it, that can do that, like, so crucial, man. Like,
we don't always want to, right? Like we don't always want to, but then we know that we like things just ain't right if we don't like amplify the joy and kick it in, like kick it out. That's kind of what our conversation this morning was about. Like, yo, we got to continue to fight in the sense of like being happy. That's what last night was about too. Like, I got the whisper, and I'm like, you know what? Because I know that like my queen loves to feel beautiful and she's gorgeous. But I also know that when she doesn't feel good, that it's like everything that she feels on the inside, she's such an honest person, even when she don't want to be. Everything she feels on the inside always shines out. It just always shows. The whole time it was hard because the face, like I'm like, hey, you gotta smile, like you gotta look happier, you know. And I, you know, trying to be, you know, as understanding as possible. I get it. I'm like, but what I know is that it's not you look good, then you feel good. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna say that. It's not you feel good, then you look good. It's
I feel like it's like 50-50. You know what I mean? Like sometimes it's one, sometimes it's the other. Like there's the thing about like like a smile is muscle memory.
Come on.
So if you're having a bad day, if you're having a bad moment and you force yourself to smile, as stupid as it makes you feel, like it feels completely counterintuitive. But if you do that, it releases endorphins, like scientifically releases endorphins into your brain, into your body that make you feel better. You know what I mean? So sometimes it is like, let me, like, you know, I'm not a big proponent of fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
I like feel it till it's real shit.
Yeah, I used to say create it till you make it, right? Like
yeah. But like there's certain levels where it works, right? Where it's like, yo, like I gotta like fake this smile right now in hopes that I'll feel better. I gotta tell myself, like, when I don't feel good, I gotta tell myself like I am healthy. I am healthy. I am. If y'all don't use that, I am, like
too much powerful words. And you know, we own it. You know, that's one thing I really built a part of my career on like affirmations, because that's really what we do as spoken word artists. We affirm it.
Let's go.
We affirm it to the atmosphere and to the universe. We affirm back to God. We affirm to the ancestors. We affirm to the angels. We affirm to ourselves, to our higher selves. Like whatever, like we reaffirm everything. I am that I am. And I really had an I like you to kind of make up words to make them all click. Epiphanetic moment. When I was actually like, I study a lot of the great like enlightened individuals such as Dr. Wayne Dyer and great motivational speakers and thinkers and just those on a higher frequency. And of course, watching movies like The Secret and that kind of stuff. But like, there was a segment where they were talking about like, if you put a comma, so I am, comma, that I am, or I am that, comma, I am. Right? Like, so that line of when Moses asked God who he was, right? And then he said, I am that I am. You know, we're used to saying it all together. But so there's power, and maybe this is an exercise everybody else can do. I started doing this years ago. This is what actually started like elevating my spirit. When I was riding, every time I'll drive on the freeway and I'll just look at anything random, like a car, and I'll say, I am that. I am. What is a car? I'm transportation. right? Cars, transportation. I am transportation. And I'm like, what does that look like? What does that mean? What does that sound like? How many people have I helped get from one place to the other?
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Then I'm looking at anything. It can be anything. Was an arrow, a sign, an arrow. I am that. I am. What is that? I am going up. Oh, snap. I'm elevating. I'm growing. What? I'm looking at anything. Anything. I'm a plant. I am that. I am. What is a plant?
Nature growing.
I am that. I am simply growing like a plant, like a tree. I was a seed first, and then anything. A couch. I am that. I am. What is a couch?
Comfortable seat. Comfortable place to be. Comfortable place to rest.
I am that. And so affirming that, right? Calling that forth, using God's name to call. When you do that, you then affirm, you call it forth. And like all these things, right? And I started realizing, I am everything. God is everything. And when I connect myself to God, not, and that's why I tell people this ain't no religious push at all, homie. Like, I understand God is more than just a personified version that like a lot of humans try to make God out to be. Like, God is the highest, greatest energy source on this earth. I understand that. I still sometimes refer to God as a he for my own personal relationship's sake, or even a she sometimes, or even a homie sometimes, or even my dog sometimes, or even however I need to for my personal relationship. But I do understand that God simply is the highest energy source on this earth, and God is everything. Even so, a lot of people they'll try to burn me at the stake. Like, even COVID. What is that? What is this? What is, and why? Like, because we understand there's a lot of pain. There's a lot of pain that has come with this season. There's been a few losses. There's been quite a bit of losses. There's also been a lot of blessings, though. There's also been a whole lot of blessings in this season. Even for you, bro. Like, we were talking, and you were like, I had a lot of time. I kicked cigarettes. I had time to myself. And I could see your elevation, bro. I could see your elevation. I'm like, this season has been amazing for you, bro.
Just having that time to sit, like, you have to sit with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's so wild. Like, the elder, before he left in February, he said, how often do you talk to your shadow? I said, I do my shadow work. And I'm speaking like esoterically. And he said, no, your fucking shadow, the one that's on the ground, the one that's never left you, the one that's been there through everything. And I was like, oh, shit. That's so deep. Like, that idea of, like, that's your best friend. That's your best friend right there. How often are you having a conversation? You know what I mean? Hold on, let me see if I can switch over. My computer is done updating.
Bro, you still trying to get the technical? I just listen. We rocking. We're gonna go back to the phone call conversation we had the other day. Who needs all the other pretty stuff, huh?
Boom, we're here.
Okay, we need it. That's pretty nice. That's a nice. That looks nice. You're right.
Well, and I can hear, like, there was a little bit of all of this, like, it was just stuttering a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I've learned? So I'll give y'all a little inside tip that I think is funny. Because, and also I couldn't see all the comments. Look at all these people chiming in here.
What they talking about?
This is dope.
Because I can't see nothing.
Danelle says, love that perspective. I think that was when you were talking.
Okay.
Teresa says, hola, I love this.
Uh-huh.
Peter says, yeah, man, God is everything, even the bad things.
Come
on.
The bad.
Deep. This season caused us to take pause to find joy within.
Let's go.
And God's way of making us appreciate being grateful for everything. Yeah. See, I needed those comments. I needed those.
Yeah, man. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if I can. I need to see these too. Let me go to the Facebook.
Yeah. No, it was definitely that space of making me sit with myself. You know what I mean? Like that did everything for me. And it sucked. It sucked at first. Like that's the part,
Yeah,
like people think that it's gonna be like, you know, like, oh, you're gonna elevate, you're going through spiritual growth. So an angel comes down, sings in your ear while you're sleeping, and then you wake up one morning and it like that's not how this works. Like it's usually, I mean, you think about like if you're training for a race and you need to get your body up and you need to get your strength up, how do you do that? By training, by beating the hell out of yourself. If you're training to run a marathon, you running miles every day, coming home sore, not feeling good. Like
breaking down those muscle tissue, those cells, tearing them all the way up. Yeah, there's a tearing right there.
Yeah. And I mean, for me, it was definitely like just letting go of some things that I've been holding on to, whether that's relationships, whether that was vices that I had going on, you know what I mean? Like, and just that, like the tearing is like sitting around the house solo, pacing around and being like, what even comes next? What do I,
what do I do?
Now? Like, I'm used to like, when I get this anxiousness, I roll one up and I chain smoke cigarettes. And any of y'all who know me know, like, y'all didn't see me for more than an hour at a time without a cigarette lit. You know what I mean? I jokingly, but not jokingly say that was the relationship I valued the most in my entire life. I never been with a partner, a family member that I love more than cigarettes. Like,
oh, wow.
So being able to like set that down, you know what I mean? Like it's wild. Like,
so in the midst, so with that, let me ask you. So what relationship do you have better than cigarettes now, though?
My relationship with myself.
I know.
You know what I mean? Like that's
definitely say that.
That's definitely the biggest one. Like I'm a lot more sure of who I am, you know, like that and that's like the real work, you know what I mean? Because it's real easy to have like folks on each side, in each ear, you know what I mean? The angel and the devil being like, yo, so but you should feel this way. You should feel this way. And but to be able to like quiet all of that.
Like, who am I?
Self and like, how do I feel? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think, you know, I was talking last week on the show about how part of self-care, people think about self-care and the really shallow side of it is like, go buy yourself something nice, right? There's like a physical health side of it that's like, drink your juice, drink your water, get enough sleep, you know, like things like that. But when I dive deeper into it, I think about saying no, being such a form of self-care and being quick with the scissors to be like, yo, this does not serve my highest good. This relationship does not serve my highest good. Like this is like, it's gotta go, you know, and being able to like cut that off and being able, like one of my things for 2021, I'm not doing Zoom meetings. Like,
come on, bro.
Like
I got one in about an hour and a half and I'm like, but if y'all watching, I'm looking forward to see y'all in
it's not that we don't want to see y'all. It's not that we don't want to meet and that we don't want to like have this growth and that's how we facilitating growth right now. But for me, it like I did so many of those. Like it would be one after another, and it would be a whole day of being in hours of Zoom meetings. And for me, that's just not conducive to like, number one, I get headaches, you know what I'm saying? So staring at the screen is not good for me. You know what I'm saying? Like just, and it also, there's this part that I don't think people realized, you know, I was explaining to folks and they were like, yo, how come you're not performing all the time? Like, how come you're not? And it was like, yo, do y'all realize the jolt of spirit that it is to like, my adrenaline gets kicked up here to perform. And then instead of having like normally if I perform somewhere, I'm hanging out with you outside, we chop it up, I get to see the homies, there's like a slow come down, right, of that adrenaline. But not now. Sky high to perform, and then I'm back at the house by myself and it slams me. And so for me, like it doesn't feel good. I get way more out of having these live conversations and doing the live stream thing than I really do
with
anywhere else. You know what I mean? Like especially performance, and like I can't even imagine like doing a rap show via StreamYard or something, you know, like
those performances, bro, and I've done a few of them, man. And the people, they're like, "Oh, good, and they're excited because they have access, quicker access or instant access." I got my folks from down south and the East Coast. That's like, cool, hey, bro, can I get you to come on? Can I get you to come on? Can I get you to perform, do a set? And I'm like, yo, it's cool because they don't gotta fly me out. They was like, we'll drop you a little something and everything too. That's dope. It's the money transaction has been beautiful in this season. However, like that not being able to like really, there's a process. A lot of people don't understand the process of spoken word that a spoken word artist, that a vessel has to go through to be able to deliver that form of energy, right? And I didn't learn it until I started really performing solo. So it wasn't until about 2012, 2013, because prior to that, I shared energy. Shout out to my bruh for life, Troublesome. Shout out to Illegal Tax.
Shout out.
Yeah, forever. It was a shared energy thing. We would get on stage, get on the stage, and it would be, our energy was the crowd, regardless of what the crowd was giving off, it didn't matter because we'll make sure we exuded a lot of energy. So regardless of what we're taking in, it wasn't just me taking in all of the energy of the crowd. It was shared. And there's always an opening. When you open your heart on stage, you're going to put out and then you're going to receive. And sometimes those exchanges are not always, there have been shows that I've been extremely drained the next day. Yeah. That come down. It's like, so there's a process that I've developed over the course, especially traveling in the East Coast and performing for like a whole year and having 30 shows and back-to-back shows, not to mention the open mics that people like just come out to you go to just to keep that rebuild those relationships. I was burnt by like the 6 month. I was burnt. I was drained, and then I started learning how to self-care. In a Queen, shout out to Queen Maisha Bird from Rochester, New York. She reached out and she said, "King, you got to honor yourself." I was 25. That was the first time I heard that.
And that shit hit different.
I was like, what? Because I had built myself on making sure I'm not selfish, right?
And, I was just talking to a mentor of mine who, like, it just is one of those people. She built something amazing in this city for this city. And I was talking to her yesterday about this, like, martyr complex that we get into, and that, like, if you're not sacrificing so much of yourself that it's taking a toll on you, then you're not working. Then you're not contributing. You're not doing enough. If you can't feel it in what it's taking out of you, then you're not doing enough. And
I ain't doing none of that no more, bro. You ain't got to kill me because you think, no, my mama, bro. You like, that's when like my gangster come out. That's what me and my lady, this what this season's been about. Guys like, sit your butt down. Y'all both unplugged from the workplace. Not to cut you off, but
no, that's, we on the same page.
Yeah. And like y'all unplugged from the workplace. We neither one of us at the moment, like we connected 2 years ago, like we got together, like my lady made a decision that she was leaving her good job working for the state of California in the field of corrections as a recreational therapist, not to put all her business out there, but I guess her business is my business now too. And so she literally was like, she did not go to work one day after we had talked one night. And I'm like, man, am I influencing people to do bad things that they may not be ready for? And I'm like, so, I also felt like, okay, that means, and she was like, I'm ready. I've been wanting to be ready. You inspired me. And I'm like, ooh, I need to be careful. Like, and then it's like, man, this is not for, you can't not be a punk if you're going to be unplugged, if you're going to take that jump and you're going to be out there in the atmosphere flying and really, and really following your dream and or building your own like just having ownership and working for yourself, bringing in your own.
Listen, you're going to talk about being careful. I'm going to tell everyone who's watching right now who sees this, just quit your job. Quit your job and do what you want to do. Life is short. Life is mad short. So, I'll be that influence. You know what I mean? That's definitely like, but like also knowing like what's yours is yours. You know what I mean? There's a divinity that runs through all of it. That's funny. Teresa just jumped in and said there is life after being a state worker.
Bro,
Teresa knows, like she on that same like jump to doing art full time with the art nurse.
And it inspires other people to realize like, so the whole, I believe like the whole purpose of life, first of all, our purposes are to vibrate to our highest peak. What up, sis? I got you.
She said, I didn't quit, but I got laid off. Thank you, Oracle. Again, we're gonna do another cheap plug for EmpressReady.com. Get your fire cider, get all your goods over there. El Boogie takes care of me. We love her over here at the show.
For sure. Y'all go take care, sis. Go take care of it right there at the Florence Square Center. 2251 Florence Road.
Home of the African Marketplace.
Home of the African Marketplace, y'all. And we ain't seen y'all in a couple weeks, but we send love to everybody out there. We taking care of us because we probably came out the dugout doing it wrong. Grinding, right? Which means that like you're grinding and breaking yourself down and you're not. It's funny. Shout out to Kariga Bailey. I was out on the East Coast. I was out. Yeah. Peace, King. I was out in DC, right? Like following my dreams and grinding, doing the spoken word artist grind. And I was eating it up. I was everywhere every day. I was 2-3 times. I was at different open mics and venues 2-3 times a day. And really, I was ready, right? Like so excited. The love was good. So it was feeding me for the first 3 months. But then, the human side of me needed to be fed too. I didn't have the homies at home that I could just pull up on. I didn't have my big cousins and them I could just pull up on and just be normal and be human. I didn't have my mama and them or my grandma and them that can just like love on me the way that I've always needed that love. So that part of me was really lacking. And long story short, so I just put more energy into just going hard at being Coon the Poet, to where like my energy was extremely high in how I was respected, but people put me on a pedal and they did not. It wasn't the same kind of connection as like my folks home. Like you and I, like Drew, we have like human conversations. Like,
fam, like I'm just gonna pause and time out and redirect just a little bit because you said pedestal, and that has been such a huge like theme for me in the last 48 hours, having some conversations about like, I continuously find myself having a conversation with myself that's like, yo, you got to stop putting people on a pedestal. You know what I mean? Like all of us are human, God working on all of us, you know what I mean? And everybody got a past, everybody got some shit, you know what I mean? Just the reality of it. So just that idea, and when you're on the pedestal, you understand why these things are so fucking dangerous, because like you're saying, you don't have that, like, I don't get to make a mistake. I don't get to slip up and do this thing. You know what I mean? Like if folks see me as, community leader or activist, and then I go out one night because I'm feeling celebratory and I get a little wild at the club and I have 3 or 4 too many drinks, then all of a sudden I'm not a community leader.
Coming with the rope. They're gonna try to put you on a cross, and I've seen it happen to others. So I've been blessed to be able to study books ahead of me, right? I've been blessed to be able to study other homies who have traveled and who has built a great name for themselves, and even study from, and I ain't gonna do no name dropping on that part, but like study from some of their mistakes too. Even, as I'm asking around, like, yo, so-and-so from and seeing the energy of folks, like, yeah, we know, and looking at me different, like, he one of your people's. Right. And I'm like, and instead of me, rather than, because I don't, I get it, whatever. I try not to get involved in people's mess, right? They beef and they funk. But I do try to learn from people's mess, people's funk. Like that's how, because I believe there is power in great relationships and keeping bridges. Now, some relationships you gotta let them go ahead and do what they do. I don't believe they always gotta burn. I believe they just gotta run their course.
Like, I'm the older I get, the more I'm like that. It used to be for me like burn every bridge. I don't need that bridge I don't need a bridge to get somewhere I'm not trying to go anyways. You know what I mean? And now it's more like, let me just leave that bridge over here.
Yeah,
over here, but there's no reason for me to like burn this bridge.
Come back and get rid of the deleting people on Facebook. So look, I got this thing and I've been deleted off a few folks' Facebooks, and it's love if I see you in person, because prior to like this COVID season, this quarantine season, I came from the era where there was no Facebook at first. So I believe in real relationships.
Right.
I never believed that social media was real. Like I was 15 when I got on MySpace. I was almost about 20 when I got on Facebook, and I always knew there was nothing more real. Like it used to be a thing. It's not anymore. Where it's like, bro, y'all funking over Facebook. Like that was a thing that everybody frowned upon. Like,
yeah, we used to crack jokes about that shit.
Yeah, but now it's real though. Now it's genuinely. Now folks are really like, nah, they deleted me. Like they're connecting it to like they're deleting you in real life. I don't look at it that way. Now, if you got some issue with me in real life, that's okay. Say that. Come in, and I'll tell that. I put that out there for anybody. If you feel some kind of way, no, I'm the kind of dude you could talk to. I ain't the kind of dude you can disrespect to his face like that and think that it's gonna be cool, and I'm gonna just turn my cheek if you try to blatantly disrespect, harm, or threaten. I'm not that guy. I'll shut that down real quick in many ways. However, matching the force and the energy for anybody out there. But know that if there is some kind of misunderstanding through the course of the journey, it can be like that. It really can be like that, where people can just read. If we don't always really know people, so sometimes we can read folks wrong, and then we can like kind of have misunderstanding. So that's another reason behind like the transparency in this season. Like I'm working on, because a lot of people don't really understand how much we really go through, especially when you are a public figure, influencer, artist, entertainer, whatever. They think that your whole life is just that part. They don't see, like, for years, I was going through a lot of household dysfunction. For years, like real like mental health stuff, like fighting with family constantly. Like I ain't gonna put all the business. I got some of the stuff written in books, but not to bash nobody, but to really like shine the light on what folks go through, like what folks who have a calling go through, and folks that accept who they are go through behind doors and suffering in silence. Go ahead, bro.
You also, like, again, being someone who like works to really push out the light, right? Like you work to push out that love. But people think like we all just develop an idea of who someone is from this social media persona. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I had someone recently was talking to Estella and was like, Andrew, does he ever have a bad day? Yo, just because I post joy, just because I'm on this joy hunt, does not mean that I do not have bad days, that you will not catch. Like, bro, let the fucking leaf blowers start at 9 a.m. You will see a part of me come out that you did not expect was even inside of me. Like, you know, and just this idea, and that's what I'm really trying to give room for.
Yeah,
like everyone's creating their avatar, and your avatar isn't who you are. You know, one of the funnier things. So Miss Mariana and I have a very, very funny relationship from years and years and years ago. And I invited her to an event called Flow, where Element Brass Band played like hip hop classic beats, and then MCs came and rapped. And I had Mariana come out. And at the end of the night, she said, you know, I thought I was going to hate you. And I said, why would you think you were going to hate me? But back then, I was incendiary on social media. You know, I hadn't really found the love in my activism. So my shit was just yelling at people, clowning people, fighting with people. Like, I'm a wordsmith. I'm really good with my words. And that means if I want to take your head off, my sword is really sharp. And back then it was like a thing where I would do that for everyone's entertainment. I know the whole internet can see this.
I remember that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like people definitely do. Like, so it's just funny that we all create that persona, and like that's who people will address you as if they don't really know you. Like, you know, folks know Joy Hunt, Andrew, and they know like positivity and all of that. But y'all ain't never seen me get ratchet in the club, because I get ratchet in the club with the fucking best of them. You know what I mean?
On my mama though. Like, so that's the part if for years. So like, especially upon my return, right? And I understand that I had elevated to a new level. And mind you, this is not to take nothing away from my kingship. My kingship is because of my understanding of self. Y'all got to understand, on my journey, I connected with my family. I connected with my bloodline, right? My Coon bloodline, my family, my dad's father's side of the family, my dad, my grandfather. And I was able to be like, I had my family history down. So I know who I am. This thing I'm upholding, right? Coon the Poet. I stand firmly because I know who I am. So a lot of that energy is what y'all feeling. Also, I survived a lot of things on that journey. Anxiety attacks, and I survived being frostbitten and being stranded and being stuck in the middle of nowhere with nobody that I knew or that knew me. And I said, you know what I mean? Like like God allowed me to get past and get through all of that. And my relationship with him clean tighter, just like this season, the bond. And so I came back very much. Yeah, I came back vibrating higher. But some people can really like place somebody who's walking in their truth confidently on a different kind of pedestal to where they think that they're no longer human. And the reality is, like, I remember a couple folks I grew up with was like, what you doing in the club? If y'all don't know, fun fact, I turn up, bro. That's my mama. I come from where I come from, but like when I first came into this game as a poet, period, even before that, I was 19 and 21 and ups. Like we would go do shows and then we'd go slide to Cafe New Orleans.
Right.
Peace Round C. Like, but a lot of people, and I realized a lot of people don't know that Coon.
Right.
And then there's a lot of people from the nightlife that don't know Coon the Poet. Like,
right.
They know, they're like, hey, that's the one. They the fly. They come. That's some fly youngsters. They come dressed to the t-shirt, tie, silk shirt, and all the stuff, and rocking. Turn the thing out. Dance with everybody in the club.
Life is 360 degrees. You know what I'm saying? Like, so before we get out of here, we got a few people watching on the stream. I want to do a little joy hunt with the folks in attendance.
What up?
Tell us where your joy is at.
This how God works. Take my position, what is given with no concerns. Go. Set it out. Top of the morning, I'm gonna set it out.
We'll keep this conversation going, you know what I mean? But just want y'all to chime in with where your joy is at. Let's get it this morning, because it's still morning. My joy, man, this conversation has been a whole lot of joy. I think I'm still gonna be processing like the technical difficulty side of things, and just what a reminder to like keep your joy is about. Like one of the funniest moments I've had while doing this show one morning. So you'd have to see this setup, but there's a bright ass light in front of my face that the cord stretches across, and sometimes it trips me up. And this one morning, it tripped me up into this table that I have everything on. I knocked over the juice that I had on the table. The juice spilled onto this chair behind me, my computer, my iPad, just everything. It was the biggest mess. And then I stumbled onto the iPad that has the sound effects on it. And as soon as I stumbled onto this, my hand hit it and it's all of it. It's this crowd applause, right? And it's just them just a wild crowd applause for how I just stumbled and spilled juice all over everything. And I could not help but laugh my ass off.
Yeah.
And I cleaned everything up. And then I got on and was like, yo, had I not gotten my meditation in, had I not like been on my joy hunt, I would have thrown some shit across a room. You know what I mean? Like I would have reacted completely differently. So, you know, that practice, and that's what we always say, it's a practice, not a perfect. And that practice of like finding joy and meditating to calm the energies down so that you can act and not react. It changes everything. So even though I did like have to jump on the phone with my mentor Ruben and be like, yo, this is what's going on. How do I fix this? He's stuck on the stream. I don't even know how to turn the stream off at this point. Like, this is wild. Like, there was a little bit of panic into it, but it wasn't it wasn't anger. You know what I mean? It wasn't anxiousness. So like, this practice. Oh, here we go. We're starting it off. Teresa says, I actually got away this weekend to appreciate the ocean and release.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yo, the ocean, though. Like, ugh. Where's the joy at, y'all? Hit it in the comments.
Yeah, real water sign over here. So I understand. I learned in my journey, I learned in the East Coast while I was traveling, like how healing water is for me. And I remember I called, shout out to Naila Pope Harden. I called one of my best friends and I said, hey, in the future, I was literally at the water, and this was after being drained and after all those shows. And I stayed at the water for 8 hours. And I said, in the future, I need you to tell my wife if ever I'm just depleted and I'm low in energy and I'm just not feeling good and I'm almost on my way out, to just drag me to the water. Matter of fact, I need y'all to drag me to the water together and just leave me there. And I'm
the same, fam. I'm the same. Like, I was blessed with a car this year. And the wild part was like before, when I didn't, because I stay in the city pretty much, you know what I mean? And like when I go out of the city, I got folks with me. I work pretty close to my house. So it just didn't make sense to have a car. And then the lockdown happened. And I was like, oh, I can't ride with anybody right now. Like, I can't take that risk because I got this special edition immune system. So not being able to get out anywhere. And that was the big one for me, was the water, was the ocean. Like, I couldn't get out there. So the first place I went was to go see mom and pops and just checking on them. And the second place that I went was the ocean, to just go like sit and be and be able to like breathe that in. I feel you definitely on that same like real water sign over here.
Yeah, DC doesn't have an ocean, but they have a river, and their river is dirtier than ours. And I still was able to that's the fuck, because I was asking my little brothers who I was staying with at the time, and I was like, "Yo, where's your water at? I need some water." It was like street concrete and then the woods, which the woods where the woods also gave me some peace too. But I'm like, yo, I need water. And so shout out to Anacostia River in DC. Like that, I spent nights up there. There was times where I would spend a night up there. I would wake up there. I would just be there, and I would like plan out and map out. There we go. Map out this future.
So I don't know if you saw this one come up from Miss Moon Magic, as I know her. Love this convo. Thinking about that day we went to your school. You were DEFA transport on my journey. Gratitude, peace, and blessings to you both. So when we were talking about being vehicles, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I'm
trying to think whose school. Hey, yo, we gotta talk to, because I remember something vague like I remember you like picked me up off the side of the road or something, or like gas, something happened. Like I think she did slide up to, yeah, sis. That's why you my sis for life. We got like real human. So like for people to understand, like I try to, I don't want to call it pride, but I really like appreciate real human relationships, authentic relationships. And so regardless of like the artist part of me, like off record, like if I ever hit you on a video call, I think I might have posted this. If I ever hit you on a video call, know that that's because you somebody, like I see your spirit and I trust your spirit. You're somebody that like I'm saying like, yo, we're more than just colleagues in this art form or
right.
if I hit you up, especially if it's a late night, even for my homegirls, and I am happily engaged. Like if I hit you up, it's because of a trust relationship between us, it's because of an understanding. And it's not because of nothing. It's nothing, it's not me trying to invade. It's me saying that, like, yo, you're welcome to this like you're welcome to my world, the real me. I'm inviting you to meet the real me. Vice versa. But no press if you was like, nah, I'm cool, I ain't answering the phone. It's all good. But just know that it's all about deeper connection and authentic relationships with me.
So I'm gonna drop a couple from the poet I chimed in. Say Yimaya calling them sons. Oshun sounds like ocean for a reason. That sweet water dumps into the mother. Real. And then this is one of my favorites right here. See, y'all, some of y'all don't know who Jody is. Jody's a little baby who thinks she grown. But I was there. I was present to take photos at Jody's birth. And so
yeah,
we called Jody Joey. And Joey sounds like joy, right? So like we talk about like I was there for the birth of joy. You know what I mean? Like, so Joey always represents that for me. So to know they're like, Jody tuning in, what you got to say, Joe? Where's your joy at this morning?
Yeah. Shout out to the Poet Eye. Fun fact, the Poet Eye was the first dope poet that I've met and performed on the same stage with when I was, hang on, y'all. My mama drummer cat is calling me. I'm going to have to hit her back and tell her I'm in the middle of a, love you, mama, but I'm going to have to hit you back. I love that I'm so connected with real dope people, like real dope individuals, high elevating individuals, but I have authentic relationships with them. But like, okay, she ain't gonna take no for an answer. Hang on 1 second. I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be brief, but I'm gonna let her in.
Word.
This is Drama Cat. Are you there? You there, mama? Good morning, mama. You there?
Morning.
So
am I calling too early? Am I calling too early for you?
You know, mom, y'all know. So listen, you actually are calling in the middle of a it's like a morning interview kind of podcast that I'm on with my bro Andrew the Five. They can hear you, by the way.
We live right now.
And so we live. I love you. Go ahead, mama.
Let me bestow the beginning of the week blessings onto you, my young kings. May God and Allah continue to raise you and bless you to where your infinite glory will be placed among many young men that will pick up on everything that you esteem that is worthy for them. I appreciate all the love and fellowship and brothership that you young men bring to this earth. And I thank you for being kings and understanding that you are God manifested in the spirit. And I love y'all.
Ooh, thank you. The love is felt and returned.
Those kind of joys. Yeah. Yeah, mom. I'm gonna give you a call when we finished up. We love you. Feel free to call the queen. Check on your daughter too, your new daughter as well.
Yeah, she just called me back, so I'm gonna call her right now. I have a gift for her, so that's why I was calling you.
That's love.
I need to come by and pick it up.
Okay, well, I'll send somebody to make that happen.
Okay, thank you.
All right, mama. Love you. I'm gonna get back to the call. All right now. Peace and love.
Man, what a blessing. What a blessing. You know, and it's funny too, because this show is usually like a 20-minute long thing. But because of the technical difficulties, like I was like, we ain't even into the show yet until like, so now, you know, like had we not, you know, been on, we wouldn't have got that call. Like that just blessed me so much. And, you know, I think about just the idea of brothership.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's so important. And being able to build that. And you're one of those folks who early on, you know, it was very early on in my being in Sacramento, and being involved in things that it was like, and you've been very clear, that like, yo, this is my brother right here, you know, and really like open some doors for me that like folks had an eyebrow up when I walked in. You know what I mean? They'd be like, who is this dude?
Yeah.
And just that idea of brothership, you know, that I mean, and shout out to Russ. Russ has been doing a lot of that with the Real Men Talk, and just opening these spaces for men to have these conversations and like be able to like break down some of what the world puts on us, you know what I mean, and be able to like really love on each other as men, and really build that brothership. So that was such a blessing to like know that vibration is definitely out there today. Like, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Prayers and affirmations inside of a wishing well. It'd be hard for us brothers. So, brother, I wish you well. May you finally get a moment to exhale. Brother, be well. Brother, be well. And I say, by no means do I mean any disrespect to you. But I'm going to pull up a chair. I got a couple questions for you. Forgive me if this comes off a little abrupt, but when's the last time somebody really checked on you, bruh? ... And so that's a newer-ish piece that I'm working on, but that's something that, and I always wanted to be one of the stigmas I try to break too is like, just like the men and men relationships, because I just moved by different codes and I was raised by different creeds.
She said, Coon, about your mama praying up in my house. Yes.
Yeah, she is. Yeah. So I'm gonna finish what I was saying. I'm gonna comment on that. So, like the brotherhood is something that it's so powerful, but it's also been like really lagging in just period in the world, because of how like men are kind of called to war with each other, right? And so like a few of my sisters was like, yo, so while y'all was warring with each other and flexing on each other, we was doing our healing. Like, so like the whole Me Too movement, and like there's a lot of sisters out here in SAC that really been going hard and really building a real sister circle, right? Real life. And really like they strong. So strong to the point to where it got me a little nervous, like, snap, I think they're coming for everybody who is not who's not gonna step up very publicly on their behalf. So let me let them know, hey, yo, black woman, I love you, black woman, I got your back, woman, black woman. I ain't one of them brothers that's put here to cast limits on you. See, I believe in you, even if nobody else do. And I want to see you conquer all of your obstacles. You safe here. This black man need to feel safe too. Truly love black women because my mama's one. When her youngest son was young, he silently promised her that when he grew strong, no man will ever bring harm to her. So me loving, protecting, and respecting you is a way of me honoring her. Really to the rest. But like, because I understand there has been so much generational past like pain and trauma between, and just like trying to find the right words. All the right words are not coming to me, but all the right pictures are coming to me. Right. So like, that's why I write with a pen, because it helps me organize. But the relationships between men, the relationships between men, the relationships between black man and white man. Let's be all the way transparent.
Yep.
And I get it. I understand why too, for sure. I'll say this, bro. It brings me great joy. And I was talking to one of my homegirls who's somebody out here about you the other day. And we were like, nah, I love how you cultivated our relationship. And I know that you said that I did. And I know what I will always, I have that boldness in me to where I will always put the love out there first. That's part of that wear your heart thing, instruction, that wear your heart instruction.
Right.
I was an instruction people. I ain't saying I'm perfect at it. The instruction for me was to wear my heart. And then I was just like offering that to everybody else as a gift. But I So yes, I did say, hey, you are my brother, right? I affirmed it, but you cultivated it because I then was taught, we were talking about my name and you were explaining, I just want to be transparent. We might as well be transparent. You were explaining how uncomfortable you felt. And literally you looked
let me back up and tell this story. I was wondering if you were going to get to this story. And I think this is a beautiful story in that, like, so Coon the Poet walked by me. We were out at an event for Block by Block, and I yelled out, like, I saw him, and I went to yell out, and I was like, oh,
Craig.
All of a sudden, I'm very aware of my skin tone, and that I don't want to yell out Coon in the middle of this, right? Like, so I yelled out the government name, to which he did respond, but turned around and was like, bro, the government though, like, what did I do to you? Like, are you mad at me? Like, what happened?
When did we get on that level?
And I was like, yo, like, but breaking it down, like, yo, with this, when I come in this skin tone, and it doesn't feel right to me, and then you really like broke it down, and I'll let you finish the story from there.
I remember telling you, now mind you, I'll put it. Listening. I didn't just wake up with this name. I didn't just wake up and say, "Hey, I'm going to be Coon the Poet." I didn't. It didn't happen like that. I was always Christopher Coon. It was always my last name. I always had to get like going into grade school. I had my name called out every single day. My teacher called my name out every single day, and kids laughed every single day, not because of the social justice meaning. They laughed because it sounds like raccoon and cocoon and all the other coon. It sounds funny to them. So I always feel like I started out not liking my name, my last name. And then as I got into middle school and I learned, somebody said, that's a racist word. That's what they say, your name is it's a racist name. It's what they said. And it wasn't until like I got on the phone with, well, I'll tell you, I talked to my great aunt who hyphenated, rest in peace, Aunt Shirley King Coon. She is the griot. She was the griot, that generation griot of our family. She created a family tree DVD. When I was in a hospital at 15, like she called me and I didn't know who she was. And she was like, I love you, nephew. And I'm like, Aunt Shirley? Because my mom has a Aunt Shirley as well. And so I was like, and she was like, well, you don't know me, but I've been knowing you since you were a baby. And you are my great nephew, and I love you. And you are of royal bloodline. And do you know what your name? Do you know about the people that held your name before you? She was talking about her father, right? And then she was talking about, and she was like, do you know your my brother, my oldest brother, right? Reverend Alvin Coon, rest in peace. And she was like, and you know about your grandfather, right? Dr. Coon, right? And I was like, yeah, I know about granddad, but like, and then she was like, but did you know this? And did you know this? Did you know that my grandfather was offered to change this, or I'm sorry, her father was offered to change the spelling of his name? And like his cousin. So some of our family actually changed the spelling of our name. And like some distant cousins, right? Like Coons or Koon. And so they came to my great grandfather. And my great grandfather said, I'm not about to hold my head down in shame about nothing. Not changing nothing about my name. It was good enough for my daddy. And what he said was, you see them kids right there? That old country twang. See them kids right there? Pointing to my grandfather and my great uncle and them. And he said, they're going to put something in front of their name. Long story short, him being as powerful as he was with, speaking that into existence. My grandfather became Dr. Coon and his oldest brother became Reverend. And I have we've got Sergeant Coons, and we have some, I'll just say we have some dope individuals. We can say prestigious if y'all need to say prestigious, but I come from greatness. And the other thing It's like all of my family. When I went to Pittsburgh on my journey and I drove up to my uncle's doorstep where his church is connected to his house, on the mat, it said the Coon family. Big, bold words, the Coons. And I'm like, man, I'm home. I'm home. It's not, I'm the only one representing my cousins out there. And there's I got a lot of spiritual family. Like my family, they all like tapped in with the church. They all got some high positions, pastors and reverends and ministers. That's a part of where this gifting comes from, the ministering, right? But my cousins, they met with me like, cuz we're gonna meet at the Cracker Barrel over here. They gave me the coordinates. They sat down with me and they came in real spiritual militant. What's up, sis? What's up? We love you, sis. We love you. We thank you. They came in real spiritual militant, and they were like, really, they were like, ask us anything. But then they were like, they really told me about like the pride that they have for their name, and they would a chant. They would all say the few, the proud, the Coons, like, and I'm like, oh, this is where all of this has always, because it's been in me for a long time. Like that love for I always was a rebellious sort of, if I can't, I once wrote, if you don't like something, change it. If they can't get the picture, frame it. And then I wrote again, if they don't like something, claim it. And then it became, I was like, nah. If they don't like something, bang it. If they don't get the picture, frame it. And so I started becoming real like about, no, it's Coon. And so my big cousin, the oldest of my family, who I hadn't met at the time, but I talked to him on the phone. He's the oldest of my generation of cousins. He actually took his mother's name. And he said, cuz, he took the Coon last name, and he said, cuz, if anybody got a problem with your last name, with your name, just tell them that they can check out anybody of our family that upheld that name, and they will see that word didn't make us, made the name.
And that was the explanation that we got on that day. You know, you broke that down for me, and then Coon
but
said,
I'll say this, because I know what I said to you too, and I said, hey, because I know we didn't have a lot. I didn't go deep into nothing. I did say, hey, check this out. You are my brother, and if anybody got a problem with you respectfully calling me by my name, they are not no brother, no friend of mine, and they'll get a harsh checking from me personally. You good, bro? I remember. And I meant that, because you're not the first white partner I had, right? You're not. And my name coming up, I was a hyphy movement kid, hyphy movement era. I came up straight in the middle of the hyphy movement. Got it tatted, got Big Coon tatted on me. I'm sorry, the other one. Got Big Coon tatted on me because the pride came from, tight Conan, boss, tight.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, people started fake pretend waking up to where they thought they had an understanding of what my name meant, and I'm like, bro, you don't even know my family. How dare you, right? Like, like you don't know where I come from. You think that I'm here playing a game? You think I'm playing? You think that I'm sitting there trying to make a mockery, or I'm pretending? I understand. That's not what's going on. And so my bad, Poet. I'm gonna ask permission. Should we apologize, sis?
Nah.
Yeah, so like, just because y'all changed don't mean that I have to change. Just because y'all changed your understanding of the word coon, because it was cool back in like the early 2000s, right? It'd be like, take coon, hey. But now all of a sudden, hey, why are you calling yourself that? I done had some homies that used to take pride in screaming out my name, Tycoon, to all of a sudden, hey, bro, why are you calling yourself that? Because now they learned a new definition. But that definition does not fit my family name, family. So I'm just putting that out there in the airwaves. There ain't no identity crisis over here. I am Coon, the poet.
Yeah.
I am the carrier of my legacy. I am the I am the warrior of my legacy, and the next generation balanced to set my legacy straight. Not that word. I don't even have no relation to that word at all.
Right.
Yeah.
And, something I didn't know until you just went super deep is that we share a lot of. So my family bloodline literally goes minister, military man,
Yep.
minister, me. Like there's that it's that minister and that militant is like, that's what I am. That's what combined, and you see it.
It's in you, bro. You
both sides of it, where it's like, yo, it's and it's like that blend of the two. You know what I mean? And as soon as you're like, doctors, ministers, like the militant folks, and I'm like, yo, yeah, all three of that's who my brother is. Right, like you are all three, the militant, healer, minister. Yes, like, you know what I mean. Like,
I love you for truly. That yeah, I'm that. I'm some other things too. Like I'm able to like kind of like really exercise those in this season. But my mother told me the other day in the car with her, because she'd been our COVID transporter. Shout out to Mama Coon.
Shout out moms.
Mother Coon. Sharon Coon, Mother Coon, my mama. She said, and I'm extra transparent this season, y'all. So I'm gonna tell you, like my mama's nickname for me is Woog or Woog Woog. Like so she once told me, and we'll end up talking about my future son, right? And no, my lady's not pregnant now, but we've been getting some spiritual insight on him. Now, if it's a her, okay, I stand corrected. But whatever. I'm just telling y'all, I move on vision and faith, and it's been working all this time. And we move on vision and faith, and we have a niece that kept seeing him in the hospital in her dreams, and I think she's powerful. Shout out to my niece Nasara. I keep on seeing her little cousin. But my mom said, I had a dream too. He's gonna look just like her. He's gonna be my Woog, just lighter. Like, and I said, huh? And she was like, he's gonna be Woog, and I'm like, what? I said, how so? Explain. I actually got a recording of it. I'm probably going to put it on one of my tracks.
Yeah.
She was like, you were always, even if you weren't feeling good, you were always happy. And I said, I was? Because I almost forgot that. Like, she was like, you were always happy. You were always just finding a reason to be in a good mood. Always excited about life.
Well, and that's it's funny because that's something we also talk about here on the show a lot is, sure. Pops was a minister, and one thing Pops left me with that I'll never let go of is that happiness comes from outside, joy comes from within. You know what I mean? So it sounds like you had that joy hunt gene from jump. You know what I'm saying? Like, where it was like, yo, even when you didn't feel good, like I'm still finding a reason to be happy. And that's what it is, y'all. It's finding a reason, right? Like as we come like full circle on this, right. To like finding that reason, there's always a reason to be thankful. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, just steady, keep hunting. That's why we call it the hunt. Like sometimes you're going to stumble over some joy, and that's dope when that happens. I love when that happens, but the hunt,
I wanna also give some tips just on my journey too, and maybe somebody out there who's listening and watching. I see some family that's chiming back and forth, and so I want to put this out there in the airways and the atmosphere, and let the Creator do the rest with it. But my granddaddy and my great granddaddy and them had something correct. My grandfather and them had something correct. My grandma and them had something correct. Prayer does work, family. Prayer. Real talk, y'all. I don't want to understand. We can get real philosophical. We can get real political. All that other stuff.
I mean, we could also get scientific too. Yeah. Y'all want to talk about the data behind prayer working? You want to talk about like the quantum field and how that works? Like, yeah. And
we can do it but the energy of putting out and affirming out into the I've been trained up by a lot of different spiritual warriors and many spiritual elders. And so I understand what I'm doing when I'm doing it. I understand I have a foundation that I was taught. And so sometimes I still will grab onto that foundation, but I do understand what I'm really doing when I'm praying. I understand the science for the ones in the back and the science of putting that energy, sending that energy out there, right? You're calling forth when you're praying. And which is why I strive to not pray in negative energy, pray about the devil, right? Pray about the things I don't want. I strive to not. I know sometimes we're taught to talk, to go up against. I ain't fighting nothing. I am going to speak of what I want: prosperity, abundance, wealth, healing. I call forth joy. I call forth.
What we say, speak that which is not as though it is. You know what I mean? Like,
come on, prayer works, y'all. It shifts. My mother told me in a hospital bed when I was paralyzed, and she said, and I had a bullet had penetrated my lung, and they did the surgery on my lung, and I had tubes all in me. And she said, "Son, pray and ask God to heal you quickly." That was the only prayer that I kept praying, and I was still very young in my spiritual walk and my relationship with God. But I kept, God, please heal me quickly. God, please heal me quickly. God, please heal me quickly. 10 days in the hospital with a fractured spine and a punctured lung is pretty amazing and pretty quick for me. So, I'm not here to push a religion, but when we're talking about joy, sometimes we do wake up with our chemicals kind of like empty a little bit, our energy a little depleted.
Well, you and I had a conversation the other day about even people praying together, right? And people of different faiths praying together.
Yeah.
I sat in some really powerful circles where people did not follow the same religions, prayed together. And this idea, it's something, one of the pieces that I've been working on is about how if you pray with your heart instead of your mouth, then we don't have differences. It's how we pronounce it, right? Like we may disagree on what the name is. We may disagree on the pronunciation of the name, but
vocabulary.
When we're calling that energy, when you sit and pray, when I sit and pray, when whoever across faiths, across whatever you believe in, when you sit and pray with your heart, you're calling on that same energy. It's the divinity that runs through all things, that runs through all of us. You know what I mean? Like, so just that idea that prayer isn't a Christian thing, an Islamic thing, it's across, and again, also a scientific thing. You know what I mean? There is all kinds of data that's just been released around manifestation and around prayer that the CIA studied this for 20 something years and just released the data about how manifestation works, and prayer is a part of that. Speaking that which isn't as though it is a part of that. Like, and I think you and I both, like, I'll add on, I just want to compete in the I'm a prayer results as well competition, in the same way that you're like, 10 days in the hut, that's amazing. Like, bro, I was born without stomach muscles. Like, they said I wasn't supposed to live. I wasn't supposed to walk. They told me at 16 that I should have been dead at 15. Like, wild. And you know why I'm here is because my mom prays with the best of them.
Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm what you see here. The fact that I've danced on stages across the world when they said I wouldn't walk, that's my mom's.
Come on,
pops, you know what I mean? Like, and it's equal parts mom and pops, but like, there's a difference for a mother with her son. You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally, like, I was living in you for 9 months. You know what I mean? Like, my mom's was always the one at the hospital with me, always, doing the work. And that's who mom is. You know what I mean? She did it for pops. She did it for my sister. She did it for all of us. But I'm definitely like the product of prayer. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. He said, not vocabulary, attitude. Yeah. Thank you for that. That's a good clarification.
Super shout out to Kiki. That's one of our sisters, one of our Yeah, I'm blessed to have her as a sister. She is my she's family friend, but more so like really sister. There's some people that are assigned spiritually to be like a soldier and a protector, and I can see that all in her. But I've also seen her activate in her like her spiritual warfare, her spiritual warrior wear, and I've seen her raise her vibration. And she has a beautiful singing voice, but I've seen her raise her vibration and really like counteract some, push some energy back. And I've like, ooh, that's who you are. That's who you are. You are the guard of this family. You and your daughters. Like, y'all, what did I do when I was asking for it? I was like, I was seeing visions of really a powerful family in order for me to stand in my calling even stronger. And so I didn't realize I got a whole tribe in one. Like I got a whole community. Shout out to Sister Kiki. She been for show. She showed up for us, dropping off baskets and things. Gave her a shout out on my little video, my thankful and gratitude video. But shout out to you, sis, for always being there and always giving us love and giving us blessings. We see you. We appreciate you.
So we're coming up on 2 hours.
Yeah, time to go.
And that'll happen. That'll happen when Coon and I sit down and talk. But this show is like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. You never know who's gonna drop by or when. So you are always welcome. If you have some revelation around joy that you're like, yo, I need to share this with the people, just holler at me. We'd love to have you on anytime. This has been an absolute pleasure, and just man, such a blessing.
It started my day off right now. I'm ready. I told y'all when we started. My joy number was at a rising 8.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm 11 now. I'm 11 because I can feel. I'm like, yo, I'm about to go in the backyard. I'm about to go throw up some weight. I'm gonna go hit the bag a lot, and I'm gonna go stand on one foot and then another foot and look at the sun and do some meditation stuff. Then I'm gonna pray real quick. Then I'm gonna finish working on these projects. Speaking of which,
please.
I did kind of like y'all be sure to go check out some of the videos I put out on Saturday night. Live videos I put out, my thankful and gratitude videos, and then I had some announcements. One announcement is because I just got tired of like just kind of sitting on all of my manuscripts, visual and written manuscripts and audio manuscripts, and in the light of like a lot of losses, just been some homegirls that have passed and some folks. Shout out to rest in peace Jamila Ward. Shout out to her family. Send a love to her family right now. But at the same time, my grandmother was in the hospital fighting for her life. My lady was in the hospital fighting for her life. And then my new daughter was also in the hospital at the same time with an accidental stab wound. And so in a self-inflicted accident, not to put all the business out there, but to kind of explain to y'all like what I was going through in my thought process of like life. I'm like, yo, life is not promised for nobody. Tomorrow's not promised for nobody. But since we don't know, we're here now. We know we got work to do. And so I'm like, yo, if tomorrow, is transition for me, did I really leave this earth empty? And I went into my files on flash drives in my old computer, and I literally felt bad. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? And it wasn't until I remember, like, yo, you planned this. You knew that some of this stuff, you had to get to a certain maturity to release some of this stuff. You knew one day you would release and share this stuff with the world. Well, 2021 is that season, family. With that being said, my Pain to Power spoken word album.
Let's go.
Sharing like my whole journey of turning my pain into power. So we're starting Black History Month off proper. And then I'm also going to be releasing a book, He Just Is. And then I got a few other working on one in the middle of the year. So I'm going to be flying out because I've been working last year during the shutdown, I've been working diligently. So I'm going to just be on my projects for real, regardless of even if certain pieces aren't perfect. So I'll probably be sharing one of those singles real soon as well. But y'all keep your eyes and ears open. Pain to Power, spoken word album by Coon the Poet. I'm excited about it. Yeah.
And I'll throw out there, I got asked to do a foreword for this book, and that is the biggest honor that I've had as poet laureate thus far was being asked to do that forward and being able to like speak on who I know you to be as hopefully an introduction when someone grabs the book and is like, who is this dude? So I'm extra looking forward to all of these things, especially the audio. If you need any beats behind it or like some music, holler at your people.
Behind the audio that I'm doing for one of the books, I do. So yeah, I will holler at you. Secondly, I never told you thank you and verbally about the forward. It's since that forward and I read that, I've been using like that because it's been affirmed to me. I'm like, bro, I did birth a generation or did raise a generation. I did. I did.
Bam. The way me and Coon met was that we share so many nieces and nephews that we kept hearing from them about each other.
Yeah.
And then it finally was like when it became a face-to-face, it was like, oh, you're Luke Taylor's other uncle. Oh, you're, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, you definitely like helped birth and raise a generation. And I'm not from here. You know what I mean? So like you were doing this work before I got here. So, shout out to you for sure on that. And Kiki says still doing it, which is absolutely right. So we got a couple more comments before we head out of here. Number one, the Poet I says, Coon, do me a solid.
What's up, sis?
If just for today, bump High Hopes by Panic at the Disco. It starts off Mama Said. High Hopes by Panic at the Disco. That's your assignment from the Poet I today.
Mama said, that one?
I do not know this song. I will also be listening to it as soon as we get up.
Look, I just aged myself. Sounding like a youngster. Like I don't know. Hold on.
So and then this one, and I think this really like sums it up today. It's just emotional. Mama praying, legacy bursting. I'm just realizing we're always where we're meant to be. I know. Again, like we didn't plan to do a 2-hour show. And it was pretty much the technical difficulties that pushed us into doing a 2-hour show. And judging by these comments and the viewership, like I see that a lot of people are really like tuned into the conversation and really needed some of this. So, thank you for being open to the energies and the God flow of the universe. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, again, I would love to have you back any time. You and Queen once she feeling a little better, you know what I'm saying? Like, so definitely like, and even having those conversations on relationships and how y'all cultivate joy together,
So this is I'll do a little sneak peek whisper. So like, there's a book that I was really going to surprise her with the book because I was putting it together and it's going to be like a collaboration. I was just gathering all kind of stuff. I'll ask her questions and have her like just write. And then I was gathering all of that plus things I've been writing. But I'll ask y'all this question. And now I'm just putting everything out in the universe so we can all be manifested. But what do you get when God's son and the moon goddess comes together? What do you get? Yeah, for the sake of time too, Drew. What you think? What do you get?
Man, light reflection is like what comes to me. You know what I'm saying? Like Poet I in here saying life.
So when the moon, I'll say this one more time, when the sun and the moon comes together.
Kiki said bestseller. I think about the way that, like, because the when you look at the moon from here, you see it lit up, but the moon isn't lit on its own. You know what I mean? Like if you were to just stare at the moon itself, it's not a source of light, where the sun lights the moon up and then we see that light, we see that reflection. So that's where my answer comes from, is that like that harmony that folks can work in. And then we got two people chiming in with the same answer.
Go, Poet. I was waiting on y'all to stop being so deep. Y'all so deep. Y'all so deep. Like, listen, everybody, like Eclipse. Simply the name of the book. But it does. That explanation will be on the book cover. So y'all be looking. So I hope the hopes are. I'm just sharing all kind of tea and spilling all kind of tea. Hopes.
That's what we do here.
Release it on any day. We will. Don't ask me no questions right now. We will have a date for y'all. Because we have already talked about that. We're just publicly yet. We do have a date though. We have a whole setup. So we just get ready. Kiki, just be ready to wear your heart blue and the whites and some gold if you need, because to show off your royal. I'll just say that. Everybody else, and we'll keep everybody posted and give everybody kind of like instructions of how we're gonna do it.
Word up.
But Eclipse will be also there. We'll be releasing it there, I believe. That's beautiful. Well, I think we bowed out. We at noontime, so go get yourself something to eat. You know what I'm saying? Get you some more juice. Some yep. There it is. Get that nourishment going on, and man. So for Coon the Poet, I'm Andrew Defy. Yeah.
And I love you, and you can't do shit about it.
This how God works. Take my position, what is given with no concerns. Set it out. Top of the morning, I'm gonna set it out.